Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I've now spent over 3 months living here in Kenya. I can't believe the time has really flown by. By the way, I'm at a cafe. It's a rooftop cafe. It's more of a bar, but they also do coffee and breakfast in the morning. And it's called the Unseen Rooftop Cafe. And you can see, of course, the view behind me. I think it's on like the 13th or the 12th floor, something like that. But I just have a few weeks left before I leave, and I kind of want to give you the real, honest truth about my experience here in Nairobi. Stick around for today's video.
Got these plans stuck in my head. Southeast Asia calling me instead. Bangkok nights and Bali shores. Sick of dreaming, want something more. Pack your bags, don't hesitate.
Guys, if you're new here, my name is Gio, and I've spent years living in Southeast Asia, about 10 years to be exact. Places like the Philippines, Vietnam, Thailand, and currently here in Kenya. But this time I wanted to try something completely different, which is why I came to Nairobi. And after actually living here, I would say over 3 months is considered kind of living someplace. And not just visiting, my perspective certainly has changed and actually has led me to want to explore a lot of other countries within Africa before moving on and checking out other places as well. But you know, my first impressions actually when I first arrived in Nairobi honestly surprised me. I don't know, I think people have this like impression, they think of Africa and they almost think of it like it's one country. It's this massive continent with 54 countries, and many of the countries vastly different from each other. Nairobi has everything from mountainous, cooler weather, beautiful mountain peaks, to savannas, to the Rift Valley, to Mombasa with beautiful beaches, and even some islands in the area. And here in Nairobi, the weather is amazing. I think right now it is about 19 degrees Celsius, which I think is in the low 60s. So weather is actually really nice. But it's modern. It's much more modern than I thought. I mean, here I am at this rooftop cafe. It's green, especially in the areas like Westlands and Kilimani. It feels very developed. And you can see the skyline behind me, and some of the buildings and everything behind me. But it's got great cafes. It's got great restaurants, great malls, and it's not exactly what people think. So at first I was like, okay, this is actually really nice. And it's really kind of grown on me. I like the fact that there's this combination of this big city feel plus really great nature around. Like they did well with, there's bad sides. There's another video I'll do about the good and in the bad, my top favorite things and some of the bad things too. But there's this great mix of nature within the city, and also there's a great mix of just modern lifestyle here, beautiful apartments and things like that. But I think kind of what stood out to me right away was just how easy things felt. The only major down factor for me really is the traffic, and the sidewalks lack a little bit in certain places. Still better in my experience than the Philippines with the sidewalks. Traffic is quite bad, but people speak English here, and not just speak it, they speak it well. You know, you can use apps to get around, but overall it's a pretty comfortable city, and you can live in areas like Westlands, and it can be very walkable to go to the malls and cafes and restaurants and things like that. Also, the people here are very confident, very independent. They seem to be independent at a young age here. Like they're moving out of their parents, they're off to school and living on their own. And it doesn't seem to be like the family support system like the Philippines. It's kind of once they move out, they live their own life. They're not really helping out mom and dad so much. And that was something I kind of really respect. That's one aspect of the Philippines I really didn't like, how the parents just cling on all the way to the, to the end, which is, in some ways, I guess it's good, but some ways it's not. But, kind of what changed me over time here, over the 3 months is, and here's the part that maybe not a lot of people want to share, but after a few weeks, your perspective starts to shift here. And at first, everything feels exciting, because it's new. But over time, the day-to-day life that matters, the convenience, the consistency, how easy things are long-term, and that's kind of where I started to feel the difference. Now, I do miss Bangkok in some ways quite a bit. The cost of living in Thailand is much less expensive. Here it is a little bit more expensive. You can live still fairly inexpensively, but you can also live very high end. Now Bangkok, you can live really, really low and also very high end too, but I feel like there's a lot more opportunities to eat inexpensively, to live inexpensively. Your rent, your internet, things like that are very inexpensive. Now, just to be clear, this is not personal, and I'm not saying Nairobi is bad, but the reason I'm leaving for me is I'm still maintaining that home base in Bangkok, and I can't just go on forever paying the double rent. I mean, I can, but why? It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So I have gotten used to Southeast Asia, for sure. It's this is very different. It's especially in Thailand, things seem to run very smooth. They do here too. The thing about Philippines time and Asian time, it translates over here to Africa too. They have Africa time. Here things can feel a bit slower and a little less predictable at times. And second is again, like I mentioned, the cost versus value. Nairobi isn't exactly cheap. If you want to live comfortably, when I compare it to Bangkok in particular, I just get much more bang for the buck for my money there in Bangkok. And third, long-term alignment. Right now, I just feel kind of more still aligned with Southeast Asia. The lifestyle, the routine, everything. It still feels home, I guess, maybe because after 10 years. Even though in a previous video, I mentioned I'm going to give up my home base in Bangkok and do some traveling. That's not going to last forever. I want to explore Africa. I want to explore some parts of Europe, like Albania, Georgia, Poland, Croatia. I want to go check out Italy again, things like that. But as of right now, I still feel more aligned with Southeast Asia, and ultimately that's where I feel like I will be. It won't be the Philippines again. It would definitely probably be Thailand, even possibly Vietnam, but Thailand more so probably. Now, what I do like a lot about Nairobi in particular, Kenya, and there's really a lot that I do like here, is I feel like the people are very genuine. The energy is definitely real here, and I'm genuinely glad I came. The dating is phenomenal. There are some great girls here. But the experience, it definitely gave me a new perspective, for sure. I really like the nature. And the air is actually very good here. Right now, I'm kind of dreading going back to Bangkok because there's going to be a big difference in air quality and also temperature. I'm going to get off the plane in Bangkok, and I'm going to be hit with the hot weather, the humid, right away. And I'm used to the cooler weather now and really fresh air, So that's going to be one thing that is going to be very different. A little getting used to, because I've been, I wear like a light jacket or a hoodie in the morning sometimes and a hoodie sometimes at night, and the weather can be quite nice here. So right at the end of this month, like I said, I'm heading back to Bangkok, and for me, that's just something I have to do. I got to go and finish up that lease, and then we'll see what happens after that. But it has been a great journey. I will definitely be back to Nairobi. I would like to do even another safari, but they have these types of safaris here that they do with open vehicles, where there's actually no sides. The one I went on is the glass windows open up on the sides, and the rooftop lifts up so you can stand up and stick your head out and maybe kind of stick your head out of the window. But they have some that don't even have, like, it's like a soft cover or whatever, and the whole thing comes off and you're just sitting there and you can enjoy the safari that way. And so that is something I want to do. So I probably will end up doing a safari again, and I think I would like to aim for the migration. The Great Migration is where they, the wildebeests are migrating and crossing the river. You ever see the video footage of the crocs coming up and grabbing the wildebeest and pulling them down as they're crossing the river? You can see that, and that's something I would probably really like to see. And that's usually around August, I believe. So yeah, Nairobi is not a bad place at all. It's not even close. It actually exceeded my expectations. It's just a fantastic place. It's just right now it's not the fit for me for long term. As of now, who knows? Who knows in the future? But I'm curious, if you haven't been out here, have I sparked any interest? Does anybody think they might head out to Kenya and check it out? You definitely should, for a lot of different reasons. There's a lot of expats here. Actually, this rooftop bar is owned by two expat ladies. But anyway, or would you choose somewhere else like Bangkok? The weather was a really huge factor. That is probably the #1 thing that I'm going to miss. Cooler weather, no humidity. Again, we're sitting at about 7,000 feet elevation, and that's a big reason for it. But let me know in the comments, and if you want real honest experience like this, make sure you subscribe and hit that like button, and don't forget to hit the bell notification. That way you're updated every time I come out with a new video. And because Bangkok content is coming again in just a few weeks, I'll be back to doing videos on Southeast Asia. Make sure you check out my website, GIOINTHEPHILIPPINES, for all the travel gear I highly recommend for living or traveling abroad, like this PackSafe Travel Sling Bag. I bring this everywhere. It's been a lifesaver in so many situations. You can lock it. It's slash proof, anti-theft, so great bag to have for traveling or living overseas. So I appreciate it, guys, and I'll see everyone in the next video. Ciao.
Same 4 walls, same fading year. Got these plans stuck in my head. Southeast Asia calling me instead. Bangkok nights and Bali shores. Sick of dreaming, want something more. Pack your bags, don't hesitate. Gio, let's go before it's too late. Time keeps slipping away from us.